Here we want to find the limit of x minus 2 dividing by the square root of 3x squared plus 1 as x approaches negative infinity. And so here's the graph of 5x minus 2 dividing by the square root of 3x squared plus 1. And it looks like as x gets larger and larger, moving towards negative infinity, the y look like it's approaching something maybe negative 3. And so we have to work it out to be sure that it is negative 3, because from the graph it could be negative 2.8, 2.9, or negative 3.1. So let's find this limit right here. And again, for this type of limit, what we want to do is look at the bottom and then find the x with the largest exponent. In this case, it's the x squared, but it's under the square root. And so what we need to do is divide the top and the bottom by the square root of x squared. So we divide the top and the bottom by the same thing, so that means we haven't changed anything. And then the other thing that we have to be careful here is this square root of x squared, it could be x, it could be negative x, depending on where x is approaching, depending on where x is going. So in this case, x is going towards negative infinity, meaning x would be negative, a negative number. And therefore the square root of x is negative x. And so in the place of the square root of x here, we have negative x. If we put x, then we will get the wrong answer. And so now for the top, we have 5x dividing by negative x, which is negative 5. And then we have negative 2 dividing by negative x, so be positive 2 over x. And then the bottom here, we can combine them. So this will be over x squared, and then the 1 over x squared. It's 3x squared divided by x squared, and then plus 1 divided by x squared. We can do this because this is under the square root, and this is also under the square root. So this becomes 3. And then here we get negative 5. As x approaches in negative infinity, then 2 over x will approach 0. And then here we get the square root of 3. And this would be 1 over, as x squared will approach infinity, so 1 over x squared will approach 0. And so the answer would be negative 5 over the square root of 3. And if we simplify this with a scientific calculator, then we get 2.886751. And again, if we were to put just x right here, then we would have gotten a positive 5 here, and then we would have ended up with the answer with positive 2.88. Which is wrong, because we know that as x approaches negative infinity, we can tell that the y is approaching something like negative 3, but the exact answer is negative 2.886751, or negative 5 dividing by the square root of 3. And so it's, whenever we're dealing with the square root of x squared, always use this.